The price of Bitcoin is now trading above $91,500, and that is excellent news because today is Thanksgiving Day. So if you're an American, enjoy your turkey. Now here's a price list of Bitcoin's price every Thanksgiving Day for the past however many years that is, I think 14 years. And this year it's 91,000 and a bit, and last year it was 95,000 and a bit. And it's a weird thought for me to think we've been trading around $100,000 now for a year. And I don't think we're in a bear market. I can't see that for a second. The market is just not there yet. Right now, if we look at the price of Bitcoin as reported by me on Twitter. We posted this chart earlier showing that it's approaching this level of resistance at about $92,500 that should act as the first logical level of a rejection point for the price right now. We also have amazing news that Kevin Hassett, who's a massive Bitcoin bull, is also probably going to be the chair of the Federal Reserve. He's going to be Trump's little puppet. He's going to be his little printing buddy. We also have this, which again, away from the politics side of things, because we always get very deep into the politics side of things, and I enjoy it because I don't really have a strong political allegiance. I just favor whatever is good for crypto. This is on chain, and this is something that we can actually see, and it's a real metric as this, and it's very important. This is exchange stablecoin reserves. Now, think of exchange stablecoin reserves as the liquidity in an economy, and the more this number goes up, the more likely it is that we have a bull market, because although the traditional financial system is having less and less money in it as we have quantitative tightening, and that is represented in this chart here. This shows the Fed's balance sheet consistently dropping, and this is what we talk about when people in society are getting poorer. It's because the Fed's not putting more money into society, and as the Fed's balance sheet goes down, everyone starts suffering. But this is our balance sheet. This is our crypto balance sheet, and it's another reason. How can I be bearish? Where is the logic? There is now so much stablecoins in this industry. It's incredible. And Trump's part of his whole plan for ending the whole problem in America with inflation. I mean, it's not really the inflation plan because it'll really make it a lot worse. But I don't quite understand the plan. But his plan is to increase the amount of stablecoins, because if you can take a dollar, print it from the Fed, buy a stablecoin, the stablecoin then gives that money back to the Fed by buying government bonds, which is government debt. And so this line's not going to stop going up. This line will just consistently be a line to the upside, because Trump has realized you can continually inflate the currency, take on loads of government debt, pass on all that debt to stablecoins. Stablecoins will buy it no problem because they want the yield, and you can keep Ponziing the dollar till it's shaped like this. But we also have more news today from Binance leading through the correction. Despite lower market-wide volumes, Binance is still doing $25 billion daily spot volume and $62 billion of futures daily volume. It's also capturing a third of Bitcoin Ethereum inflows, with stablecoin reserves a record $51 billion. For some reason the other day, Elon Musk's SpaceX transferred $105 million worth of Bitcoin to unknown wallets. Perhaps they're paying for something, but allegedly the company is still holding 6,000 Bitcoin. Doesn't affect you, doesn't affect me, but I can tell you, these guys, as I'll show you in just a second, billionaires are buying right now. Billionaires have been going on CNBC saying, look guys, you know, it's one of the best inflationary hedges of all time. Maybe you want to consider having some in your portfolio. And we're talking specifically about Bitcoin there, but I think this applies to crypto in general. Something that I would encourage you all to do today is just have a quick scroll through the top 100 on CoinMarketCap and just compare the prices to where they have been and where they are currently, because there are some absolute bargains out there. I mean, starting off Cronos. I know a bunch of you probably hold Cronos, but I'll bring it up for the sake of bringing it up. You can see earlier this year we had a massive spike upwards when Trump's announcements came out that, you know, the government is going to put money into crypto.com. The Trump family is doing some kind of business with crypto.com, and the price went from being 8 cents up to being a bunch of money, and then it's been sold off again. But the price is now down 70% since then. Uniswap, again, not performed quite as bad, but had a high earlier in the year in August of $12, and it's now sat at $6. Let's take a higher market cap, for example. This is Solana, $141 right now, was $244. I sound like I should be selling sofas on ITV around Coronation Street time. But the point remains, there's good deals on the market at the moment. And as someone that, anyway, has been accumulating a lot of Solana recently, I actually found a website here. It's called CoinStats. I can find out my average buy price. Oof. My average buy price is a little bit higher than what I thought it was. Been an average of $177 per sol. I'm down 150k on it. Point remains though, because I keep buying and I keep putting more money in this account, and this is basically just the power of saving. I could save privately, yeah, sure, and I do save privately. But I wanted to give you an example on this channel live in real time over the next year or so of how anybody with a decent source of income can make millions of dollars in crypto. And I'll prove it to you with these bags. So I just basically lump all of my business income into Solana all the time. At the moment, we're back on a omission, seeing as though the price has been rising. We was lumping it in when it was falling. We stopped lumping it in now, and so now I just put my business profits into Tether. I want to point out as well, this is just a tracking app. This is not an actual dashboard for my assets. But anyway, I'm going to continue to stack Solana, and I'll try and get that average buy price down a little bit, because that is a little bit high for my liking, but it's not terrible. But if these people are right, like the billionaire class, like Grant Cardone, if he is a billionaire, he says he's a billionaire, but is he really a billionaire? Regardless, he says in the next 35 days, he's been sniffing that Tom Lee sniff again, but he says it's going to $160,000 as well the next 35 days. Just give this a watch.
I think we could get to 160 before the end of the year, and I think that $1 million is easily attainable in the next 5 years, maybe sooner.
5 years.
I could see it there at 3 years.
Now, I actually kind of think it's also possible. I just think by the end of the year seems too aggressive. I'd say by the end of January. Typically, January is a very good month. People hold back a lot of money going into the end of the year in order to deploy it in the next tax year. But next up, there is one man who goes on CNBC every day. He's in a desperate loss right now. His name is Thomas, and he was back yesterday saying, buy my bags, buy them.
I think we're set up for a really strong rally into year end. And I know we just came out of a pretty terrible grind. I've talked to a lot of PMs that have said it's one of their worst 6-week periods ever in their career. So we know people have lost money, they've de-risked. But we know into year end we have the positive seasonals, especially given how strong October, the May to October was. You know, it's really a 5 to 6 chance that we're going to be up 5% into year end.
Right. So is this just desperate cope? I actually don't think, I think he knows something. I just get the vibe. He knows something. You have all these billionaires going out there and very specifically saying it's going to go well in January. Now, either they're all in too deep or they know something. So they know something, because they wouldn't say these things unless they were pretty confident. Either that or this guy maybe is the next Bernie Madoff. We'll see. And in just a moment's time, we will be getting onto the prices. But although I don't expect a lot of volatility today with it being Thanksgiving. US markets are closed, so I expect a pretty quiet few days. But before we do, a man who is in charge of the United States birthed a spawn, and that spawn has been back on Yahoo Finance telling us all to buy more Bitcoin.
And I think you're going to have this major shift to Bitcoin as truly the digital gold. I mean, I think you're seeing more and more money that will ultimately come out of gold, and you're going to see that ratio disproportionately shift into Bitcoin, because it's been the single greatest asset that we've seen, and it solves a lot of the problems that physical gold has, including weight and transferability and so many other things, right?
But more important than Trump's sprogs, Cathie Wood, who actually retains a brain and has done for many years and is a very successful entrepreneur. She took to CoinDesk the other day to talk about her price predictions for Bitcoin.
I want to start right with Bitcoin and what you see as the outlook for Bitcoin's price. In recent weeks, you've come out and said $1.5 million per Bitcoin by the year 2030.
Yes, it is our view. I think right now we're in a risk-off period generally. And if you've been watching Bitcoin, it's almost been a leader in terms of risk on, risk off. So I think that's what we're seeing. If you look at our on-chain analytics, what you will see is that we are in the middle of, we're a little bit more than halfway through a 4-year cycle. We think we're still in a bull market. And we believe that the deregulation that we're seeing here in the United States is going to be very important to institutions moving into this new asset class. Asset allocators have to have a point of view on this new asset class. And we think by putting it in portfolios, risk-adjusted returns for the entire portfolio will go up.
We are literally just at that point in the market where you've just got to be maintaining your confidence. And even if we were to take a little bit of a dive from here, which I kind of think is unlikely, to be honest, I actually get the vibe that it's more like that. I know it seems optimistic, but I actually really do get that vibe. And the reason I've got many reasons for getting that vibe, but a lot of it centers around the fact that true value hasn't changed. We found support around here. We have resistance up here at $140,000 on Bitcoin. We've got a no man's land area where a peak range of liquidity is sitting at about $96,000. We've covered in the past that that's also the same range of all of the liquidations are sitting at. The fear and greed index is dropping away. Currently, we're still in extreme fear, but still at 22 points. There is now an 85% chance of a rate cut at the next FOMC meeting. The stock market has been rebounding quite significantly. And as I say, with these liquidation heat maps, like, look it up here. It's just a lot more numbers up there. A lot more liquidations are going to happen of those late short positions. And on ETH, I've actually changed my take profit as well on my trade. And I've done that because I kind of get the vibe that we're going to break upwards pretty soon on ETH. So we've got this level of resistance starting to form here. And this level of resistance, should we break through, it's currently sat at $3,090. I previously had my take profits out there, but actually I've removed it up now to $3,500. And I might not leave it there. I might bring it back down again. I might fancy it around 3,300 to take profit, but I really love the entry on this trade. I've got to say it's a really amazing entry. It could be a generational entry, could that? Especially if we really start taking off again. We might do the whole $10,000 to $1 million trading challenge on this. Say that ETH goes to 10K, we've done it. And another huge consideration for me is this is the Bitcoin 1 hour chart, and Stonksy, which has got one of the highest hit rates of any indicator on planet Earth, has closed and taken profit on its short position that it took at 104,700 all the way down to $86,000. A very profitable short position, but it's not in that short position anymore on the 1 hour. And on the half an hour, when we drop down a time frame, we can see it's starting to enter long positions, which again makes me a little bit cautious about taking profit too soon. Now, you don't mean me to tell you that this is literally one of the best indicators on planet Earth, but it is, and it's also long currently on Ethereum. On the 1 hour chart, you can see we're in a long position. It's got a very high rate of accuracy. It's also in a long position on Ethereum on the half an hour chart. And if Stonksy is to close, I would consider getting out of my trades, but it's not. It's continuing to hold. I'm looking at these levels up here at 3,240 and thinking, you know what? I think that's possible, because for a while on Solana, I've been saying $162 to $165 is my current price target. And the reason why I've been saying $162 to $165 is, for a start off, this is a very long-term chart. So this is a 3 hour chart for Solana. Each of these lines here, the ones that are facing that way, each one of those is 3 hours. Now, the reason that I've been parroting this zone here around $165 is because that would be the top of the range of liquidity. So if I just reduce the size of that so you can actually see that range of liquidity here. That's the top of the range. You've got a massive gap then all the way up to 177, and then you're in the next range of liquidity. Now, typically when you're trading within a range, you're going to bounce around that whole range before you have any kind of break outwards. So you're going to cover the whole range. The top of the range is 169, and I think it's more than possible that we get there. Now, I'm someone that never also makes stock picks really on the channel. I talk predominantly about crypto, but I quite like crypto stocks as well. And Gemini is an exchange in crypto done by the Winklevoss twins, and they did an IPO at $28 a share. It's currently sitting at $10 a share. Not even 2.5 months out of their IPO. The price has completely collapsed. It's gone down 60%. I think that's opportunity. I've got to say, I'm going to slam in some of my own money pretty soon. I'm not doing it just yet, mainly because I've not got an account that I can do it with. But I should have it all set up tomorrow, and then I can explain to you how you could also go and buy Gemini stock. I guess my main goal at the moment is to try and turn this $10,000 into $1 million. I mean, what are we at now? 37,999. We're doing an incredible job. If you're not part of the Discord, you should be. But you should also take some courses on Crypto Saving Expert. Of course, if you're interested in trading, check out WEEX. You'll find a link for it in the video description, which gives you a 25% fee discount, as well as some nice bonuses. But overall, I think today's going to be a bit of a boring one, if I'm honest. Not a lot of news, not a lot of price action. Have a day off, back to it. Probably Tuesday. Depends. Do they do bank holidays on Monday in America? I get the feeling they might. I don't quite know how Thanksgiving works. I don't even know what they celebrate. It's where they go and cut the head off a turkey or something and say thank you. But on that note, guys, I really hope you've appreciated this video. And if you have done, slap a like on it. And I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe.